To shoot an arrow, you have to pull it back. Welcome back, everyone. J-Bone here for Smash This Podcast. So right after Raw on the WWE Network, they released the special WWE 24 Finn Balor. Everyone loves a comeback story, you know. Yeah, I don't know anyone that doesn't love a good comeback story. And it seems like we've had a few of them, you know. We had certainly, you know, Rollins had one, and now we've got this one. And with the news coming out just earlier today that Strowman is now out for 6 months, I would not be surprised in the least that they're going to do one about him, because he is quite the up-and-coming star in the WWE. But this is going to be about Finn Balor and me talking about the WWE special. It's great. It's very emotional. It's you know, it really dives into what Finn was feeling like over the course of those several months from SummerSlam of last year to the comeback of the Raw after Mania, the Monday night after Mania. And it goes from rehab, great little interview segments with everyone involved. Talked about his bond with friends like Zayn, Kevin Owens, and Big Cass. Big Cass was kind of a surprise, you know, because you see, you hear about stuff behind the scenes as far as like, who's kind of hanging out with who. Big Cass was one I was not expecting. That was kind of cool, though. You know, he was in there for some of the segments. Also, very interesting to see. Some people would call this karma. I know some people were joking about this on social media when it happened, but when Rollins re-injured himself this spring and could not. He did do Mania, but almost couldn't. He was rehabbing right alongside Balor at one point in Alabama, and they actually got really close during that time, and that was really interesting to see. You know, it's like Finn has just an incredible outlook on just genuinely a great outlook on life. He really does. You know, you'd think he'd have some almost like revenge in mind, but you know, he cracked some jokes, you know, at Seth about the whole situation, but yeah, they got real close towards the end of the rehab sessions there. And then in talking about, and I'm kind of bouncing all over the place here, but the different segments, it was kind of cool to watch him surrounded by family and friends last December, and the OTT show. Not sure if that one's on FloSlam. In fact, that show probably is on FloSlam, but I'm not sure if they aired the segment with Finn Balor. That one I'm not sure about. But nonetheless, you know, that is kind of cool to, you know, see that on there. And like, hey, I've heard of it, because a lot of times when they show roots of wrestlers and where they came from, you've never heard of these, but the OTT I actually heard of. So, and what's also interesting is it did even a further flashback to show old backyard wrestling and stuff of Balor growing up, and back, I guess it was during the Attitude Era, around that time, I guess, wrestling with his brothers, his sister joking about how she would have to be the lookout, so that was fun little footage like that. Talked about going to Japan, meeting Carl Anderson and Gallows, forming the Bullet Club. That was really interesting. I hope somewhere down the road they'll air some, like, a bigger special on it, I'm guessing they might do that somewhere down the road. Say if Kenny Omega or the Young Bucks show up, a year from now or whatever, maybe something like that. Who knows? Be kind of cool. Eventually just get everybody from the Bullet Club in the WWE. Yeah, you never know. Showed him going back to where he first trained at the Fight Factory in Ireland, talking to the next generation of wrestlers. I always find that incredibly unselfish. Giving back. Like Rollins has that wrestling school. He's constantly giving back to that next generation because he loves wrestling. That's so awesome. What else they touch on? Then that was around Christmas of last year, and in January, they mentioned it was 19 weeks post-surgery. He's back in Orlando at the Performance Center, working off the ring rust, getting back in the ring, whatnot. February, rehabbing. That's when he was with Rollins. Talked about that. And then talked about how he did live events in March leading up to Mania. A very interesting point that they made, which was somewhat sad, is he was cleared before Mania, but they decided to keep him off of Mania, which is understandable. You want his comeback to be special. You don't want it to seem like it's rushed. If he is going to build on a new rivalry, you just don't want to be like, hey, you're back. Hey, and a couple weeks it's Mania and you're going to face this guy. That's just like, that, as cool as that would have been to have Balor at Mania, it wouldn't have meant much, The night after Raw is special because there's new blood, new rivalries, call-ups, whatnot. So yeah, I felt they did it right, but showing the footage, it's sad, It's very similar to seeing Rollins from the year before when he couldn't perform, Let's see what else. That's pretty much it. That's just, covering little snippets of each segment. The music used for it, they always pick really good music for these. Good emotional, music that yanks on the heart and good stuff, These specials are really cool. Really well done. So yeah, go check it out if you haven't already. But that's my thoughts on it. The WWE 24 special on Finn Balor. And by the way, everybody's pissed off on how he lost to Roman Reigns tonight. Come on. he he beat him his first night back, and he lost now. If you could be pissed about that, come on. That's nothing to really be pissed off about. You know, they're just 1-1 now. You know, just look at it that way. Are they going to fight a lot more times down the road? I'm sure Finn will be winning plenty of those battles down the road. And like he said, we'll have plenty more WrestleManias to catch up on as well, and main events. So, yeah. They also announced the main event for Extreme Rules. Not going to get into that, but that was pretty cool. They announced the 5-way, and Finn is part of it. So, before I get started on some other tangent, talk about something that has nothing to do with this, I'm going to end this. So, alright. That's it. Thanks for watching.